everyone's doing well this fine Saturday morning. Um, for any of you who live on the East Coast, especially in the northern part, you'll know that there's a hurricane that it's not really passing through. It's actually over the ocean, and it looks like it's going east. Might hit Nova Scotia. Looks like it's missing all of New England and going into Canada. But there's still going to be some residual weather. I guess the Cape is getting hit a little bit, and I'm in northern New Hampshire right now. But even here, we're getting a little bit of wind, so they just have us standing by just in case anything goes wrong. Um, I haven't done an episode or a live stream or anything since May, so I figured I'd just check in and let you guys know what's been going on with my life, why I haven't been doing podcasts, um, and just kind of where my headspace is these days. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. Um, so first off, I touched on this a little bit in one of the last episodes I did, but with my new old job, going back to the job I used to do, which is working on power lines, it's not set up the same way my truck driving job was, and it's not as easy to put out content. So I work 10, 12, 14-hour days, whatever. It just kind of depends. It's usually 10-hour days, but like this week I worked 10 hours on Monday, I think, and then like 14 hours on Tuesday, 12 hours on Wednesday, 10 or 11 hours, or maybe even 12 hours Thursday. I think it was 11 hours yesterday, and today I came into work at 3 in the morning. So it's a lot more, believe it or not, unpredictable than truck driving. Truck driving, there's actually a pretty set rule about when you can drive, when you have to stop, all that. So you can sort of plan your day out with truck driving more than you can with this. The DOT rules actually kind of go out the window when there's an emergency. Everything changes. But the nature of the work is completely different. It's not me by myself in a truck cab all day long. I can't just listen to the news or podcasts or books on tape. It's manual labor mixed with machine labor, but you're outside dealing with heavy equipment, dealing with power lines, working with other people. So it's not an environment in which I can just kind of chill out and take in what's going on in the world. And when you're truck driving, you're alone all day long, and you're actually seeking some sort of human interaction because you've been alone all day. Where now I'm working with people on a crew, and I'm tired and worn out, and at the end of the day, I just want to chill out and, be left alone. Or the other thing I might want to do is, since I'm not just at a truck stop in Nevada at the end of the day, now that I'm living around my family and friends, when I get out of work, I might want to go have a beer with my brother, or go water skiing with one of my friends during the summer, or go snowshoeing, or, whatever, because I actually live around my family and my friends. Again, I'm not just by myself in a truck out west. So I was trying to juggle the podcast, work, and life, and all three weren't working because I had to keep cutting into my personal time to try to do a podcast, try to write a Substack, whatever. And all that time that I'm working, I can't do that, obviously, where before I could sort of mix the two together. So the podcast is what had to go. So the podcast hasn't happened because I can't work, have a life, and do a podcast with this job. On top of that, I don't really know what to say anymore. Like, I feel like I've kind of already said everything I have to say about politics. I mean, a lot of these things are cyclical. The whole deal with Taiwan and China is not much different than Ukraine. There's no reason China would want to invade Taiwan other than the US and, Western powers provoking it to do so. They don't want to have a war over there, but it might end up happening because we think we own the entire globe. And it's just very similar to Ukraine. People don't seem to catch on to any of this stuff. They're talking about maybe having COVID restrictions again. that obviously didn't work the first time, and obviously that wasn't even the goal the first time, to actually stop the spread. It was to gain more government power, all that stuff. So, I mean, if it starts happening again, I don't know. Like, just go back to my videos in 2020 and 2021 talking about vaccine passports and all that stuff. Like, it's the same thing happening all over again. I still get emails asking if I support printing off checks to fight inflation. I mean, I don't know. This is all stuff that's easily understood, and we just have a very ignorant population. And something that I think a lot of people are naive about is that the government is designed to do this. Like, this is not a bug. This is a feature of the system. The government wants to gain more control, more power. It wants to get bigger. It wants to centralize. So these are things that are just going to naturally happen. And so we can just scream about them all day, but it's really not going to make much of a difference, I don't think. And you know, a lot of people are excited about Vivek Ramaswamy running for president. I don't know. You know, I'm kind of done with being excited for people running for president. I just don't really care at this point anymore. I mean, I was really excited about Tulsi. I was really excited about Rand Paul. I was, you know, I don't know. I was way into the Libertarian Party. I don't know. I don't think it really makes that much of a difference. I think that what matters the most is how you live your life. And frankly, you know, compared to most people, I have a very well put together life, and I did the entire time I was podcasting too. But there were things in my personal life that I could have worked on that I wasn't, and I was putting effort into politics instead. And I have reallocated that energy toward taking care of myself. So I don't know if you can tell from this video, but I've lost 30 pounds since May. I didn't even realize how overweight I had become, but it wasn't even from truck driving. I wasn't that overweight truck driving, but I moved back here to New Hampshire, and last year I started getting involved in politics locally, but I just wasn't taking care of myself. I was eating a lot, wasn't getting a lot of exercise, and I weighed 250 pounds. I didn't even realize it until this year. I decided to finally do something about it. And so I basically just stopped eating shit. I don't eat ice cream. I don't eat donuts. I don't eat crap. And I've been intermittent fasting and trying to get more exercise, going to the gym. And that has been a huge benefit to me. I've also started really saving money, having a really aggressive savings plan. Again, I was still financially well off before, but I could have been a lot better than I was. I've made adjustments there. I've tried to only invest in relationships that have a return on them. I feel like a lot of things I've been holding on to that weren't going to really work out, or weren't really beneficial to me, or, you know, friendships that I thought were worth investing in but never really got return on. I've decided to kind of end that and only invest in people who are willing to invest something back toward me. And I've just frankly been a lot happier the last several months than I was before. And I feel like I have more purpose than I was even when I was, you know, doing the podcast and everything. So that's where I am. And honestly, at this point, if I ever get back into podcasting, I'm going to talk about these types of things instead of politics, because it doesn't matter how much time we talk about Ukraine or Taiwan or the war on terror or whatever. Like, I mean, after that whole Yemen resolution thing and seeing Bernie Sanders not even bring it to a vote, and, you know, everybody made all these phone calls and everything, it doesn't really seem to make a fucking difference. Like, we could change the way thousands of people think, but at the end of the day, the machine's going to do what it's going to do. So the only thing you can control is how you react to situations. So are you going to try to economically better yourself? Are you going to try to invest in relationships in your life that matter and are going to have a long-lasting effect? Are you going to care about your health? Are you going to take care of yourself yourself, basically. And if you take care of yourself, you'll be able to take care of people around you. And if you're taking care of yourself and people around you, they'll be less likely to have to depend on the government in the first place. A big reason a lot of people support government programs is because they can't make it otherwise. And it didn't used to be that way. The government used to do a lot less because people were doing a lot more. And in order to take care of people, you really do have to take care of yourself first, on multiple levels. And in some ways, I was taking care of myself. In other ways, I was not. One lesson I've learned recently is that if you don't respect yourself, other people won't respect you. So I've been a type of person who tries to just let things go, only make, significant things a big deal, try to not make mountains out of molehills. But there are some things that you really just have to put your foot down and say, no, I'm not doing that. Fuck you. This isn't working for me, or I'm sick of just like bending over backwards for you, or I'm sick of you dragging me through the mud all the time. And in a lot of different areas of my life, I was letting people do that. And I've really decided to just stop doing it. So yeah, that's where I am right now. If you guys have any questions, I see that there are some people commenting already. I'll try to go through them. Let's see. What's your moving advice for those of us that don't have a tech job or six-figure jobs? What's job market like in New Hampshire? So I'll be honest with you, it's really hard to move here right now. And I know I'm probably not supposed to say that as a proponent of the Free State Project, but there's actually a homes shortage right now because a lot of people have moved here. It was very hard for me to even find a place to rent. That's why I bought a camper and have been living a camper. I haven't paid rent since April, and I bought a camper for 10 grand, and that thing has already paid for itself just by saving on rent, because rent is so fucking expensive right now. And I think it is everywhere, but here it's ridiculous right now. So it is tough. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. And it depends on what you have for work, on what you're gonna find here. I mean, but it is a place that people are moving to. It's not a hidden gem necessarily. So it is competitive. I'm just gonna be honest. Why is it hard for people to understand hurting other people is bad? I don't know. I think a lot of people have been hurt in their own lives, and so it's just how they treat other people. Some people lie to themselves and say they're not hurting other people, or that it's a necessary evil they're doing, or whatever. I think people mostly justify it away. I'm almost 49, just started a new job, plan to retire in New Hampshire, having a personal whiskey rebellion here in Southwest Pennsylvania. Nice, good luck with that. I met Vivek in Laconia. I'd vote for him if he's on the ballot. Otherwise, I'm just voting on local politics. Cool. I know I said I'm going to vote for Trump a few months ago. I don't even know if I'm going to do that. I'm just going to be honest. Like, I might. I don't even, like, it just, I don't care. And some people are making the case, like, you should care. It's not about Trump. It's about local politics. And if the Republicans win, it helps local politics in New Hampshire. I'm sympathetic to that argument. So I know it's the lesser of two evil arguments we're supposed to be against, but I don't know. I don't really care who the president is. I mean, my life has honestly been better under Biden. It's not any of his doing. But under Trump, like, I was never confined to my house under Joe Biden. I know he would want me to be, but I was under Trump. And I also had the most money from my paycheck printed into oblivion under Trump. So there are lots of arguments why you should just tell Trump to go fuck himself. My biggest argument for voting for him has been that he'll just drive the people I hate crazy. But if that's not a compelling enough reason, I completely get it. There's some things I like about Vivek, but at the end of the day, I just don't care enough about any of it anymore. I know you aren't religious, but this is sort of why I think investing in your local church is more valuable than investing in politics. Yes, I would agree with that. Are you still talking to the Jackman twins and Ryan? I saw Ryan a month ago or 2 months ago, last month, August. I saw him in the Outer Banks with Scott. I met his brother, who's been on my podcast, but I hadn't met him in person. Got to go to Scott Dawson's museum right there in Hatteras, Buxton, right there in Buxton, down in Cape Hatteras. Saw Scott do a little surfing in the waves, met Ryan's grandmother, met his other brother, who I didn't even know exists, who looks nothing like him. It's hilarious. Like, Ryan and Scott look pretty Indian. Their brother is blonde hair, blue eyes. He's full relation, but you'd never really tell to look at him. I got to spend a day down there with them. That was cool. And yeah, I talked to the Jackman brothers quite frequently. Just went out for dinner with Eric a couple weeks ago. See them quite often. Rise to Liberty says, proud of you, dude. I love what you're doing and think people should do their own version. Love from Utah. Thanks, man. My brother's out in Utah right now, or he just was. He was doing a road trip out there. I miss it. I miss that place sometimes. I mean, it's good to be back around friends and family, but man, Utah is a one-of-a-kind place. Anyone who hasn't been there, it's just wacky. The rock formations, the country is just absolutely beautiful. Will there be no more Four Horsemen? I don't know, but as of right now, I'm going to say probably not. I mean, I haven't done anything. I think, okay, so I don't want to make an episode saying there's never going to be another naturalist capitalist episode, because I don't know if that's true. And I also think it's kind of weird to, announce that or whatever. So I'm not going to make any definitive statement, but for the foreseeable future, I'm not planning on doing any podcasts, at least political podcasts. If I do ever decide to start something again, it's going to be geared more toward things that people can actually change about their own lives and how they can react to things instead of just yelling at the wall about things that'll never change. I met you briefly in DC at the anti-war rally. All right, guys. Well, I don't know if we're going to end up doing something here, but we might. And I just wanted to check in, let you guys know what's been going on with me, why I haven't been doing podcasts. I guess I'll end by just saying this. I did sort of have a fallout with the Mises Caucus, and that's kind of vague saying the Mises Caucus. It was really with some people in the leadership in the Mises Caucus. I am no longer a member. I still technically am a member of the Libertarian Party, but I don't do very much for the Libertarian Party anymore. I help run the New Hampshire Twitter account here and there, but even that I'm not doing very much anymore. I did delete Twitter off my phone a few weeks ago, just because I was on my phone too much. And there's two things with that. Like, one is it actually bugged me how much I was addicted to using my phone, because I thought of myself 10 years ago and how much disgust I'd be looking at myself now. But on top of that, I thought, it's really weird for a group of people that are paranoid about the government watching us and people knowing what we're doing, that we post what we're doing all the time to Twitter, and how much people all over the country know about my day-to-day life and how much they really don't need to. And so actually on Facebook, I unfriended over 400 people in one night. If you were one of those people, don't take it personally, but I kind of just want to share stuff with my friends and family and people I actually know instead of the entire world. So I have also taken a huge step back on my personal Twitter account. I only tweet from my computer. So, I mean, if we're out on storm for a few days, I won't even check in. I won't even know what's going on. So if you send me a message over there and I don't, and if I don't get back to you, that's why. So I would recommend the same to everybody else. Like, Twitter is fucking cancer. I mean, this is coming from somebody who's very good at Twitter, who's made international headlines several times, who has built large followings easily. It sucks. Like, it's especially, you almost start to use it as a therapy session. Like, if you're aggravated about something, you go and post about it on Twitter, and that is so stupid and unhealthy, and I've done it before. And I just decided, you know what, enough is enough. So that was another area that I've cut back in. Um, but yeah, that's about it. So I might do another live stream like this at some point just to check in, see what's going on. But yeah, as of right now, there are no political plans at all. I don't have a single political event on the horizon. Don't plan to speak anywhere. Don't plan to attend any sort of rally or convention or anything. Right now, I'm just working on my finances, my health, my relationships. Hopefully, buying land here, which I already alluded to, is very difficult right now. So I'm just stacking the bills. So I'm living in a camper right now instead of wasting money on rent. And yeah, that's me. So I will catch you guys later. Thanks for checking in. As I used to say, take care of each other, take care of yourselves. You can't take care of others if you don't take care of yourself first. All right, guys, I will catch you later.